Okay. All right. I've decided just to cook this and record it anyway. So I'm so grateful that you guys took the time out to jump on, and I apologize for the internet issues, but I've got everything ready to go. So I will go through what I was going to go through and just put in some tips and stuff that hopefully you pick up along the way. So congratulations on being a new Thermomix owner. Super excited for you. And yeah, thank you for the ladies who joined to support you and just to learn a little bit about the Thermomix and what it can do, especially if they're going to be ever touching yours and doing some things in yours, which I hope that they do. So what I'm going to do is I just did a bit of a clean with my second bowl. So this has just got some liquid in here. So the pre-cleaning mode, FYI, is incredible. It gives you the instructions on what to do, how much water to put in, detergent, whatnot. So you'll be all over that. I'm just making you aware of it. Now, the screen right now has probably got a bit of a glare on it, but if you swipe to the left on your screen, it'll bring up all of our functions. So definitely have a little bit of a look around that. I'm sure you've already picked it up. You're probably quite tech savvy, but some people do actually miss that that's there. And that's where you'll find your scales and turbo and rice cooker mode, egg boiler mode, sous vide, slow cooking, like literally all of the functions will be there. If you ever manually just want to do something. So tonight I actually manually quickly cooked up some brown rice, some brown basmati rice, and I just popped it in, put some water just above level like you would in the rice cooker and turned it on and walked away. So that means I didn't really have to do that step for this dish, but I'm just going to go to my week. Okay, so what we will do is we'll do a little bit of a session and a deep dive with Cookie Do and the accessibility and the meal planning sessions and everything that you've got available to you there, because it is an incredible asset and definitely one you're going to want to make the most of. So what I do is I try and over a weekend meal plan. Sometimes I'm a bit late with it. Sometimes I don't do it at all. And we just sort of wing it during the week, which isn't good. But yeah, I plan my recipes to my week and then they're on the screen and I know exactly what I'm cooking, what day, and order my ingredients normally with click and collect through Woolworths. So the app is incredible because you can order directly through Woolworths. And I know I'm never going to have, want to make something and not have the ingredients, or I know I'm not going to have to walk the aisles of the supermarket and like avoid buying the stuff that's on bargain, on sale, and treats and anything else that just catches my eye. So anyway, I've got a couple of recipes I made today. I made some pulled barbecue jackfruit, but also some other stuff. And I'm making tonight chicken and cashews. So I've got my bowl on, recipe comes up, all you have to do is hit start cooking, okay? And we're ready to go. So it's really handy to make the most out of the Thermi and your time that you've got available. Prep the ingredients beforehand. So when you're in the main recipe at the start, you can actually scroll down, okay? I know you can't really see the screen right now, but you can scroll down and it will tell you how many portions it is and how much prep time there is and total cooking time, but also all the ingredients, nutritional information, all that sort of stuff. So really handy to just like either scroll on there or scroll on your phone and get all your ingredients out. But this is one of my favorite things. The first steps in this recipe is because I have not cut up onion and garlic for years by hand because the Thermomix always does it for me. So I've just popped in 1 garlic clove and about 2 centimeters of ginger, and I'm going to put the lid on. Where's my lid on? I had a bit of soap on it still. The lid just goes on flat like that, measuring cups in, doesn't fall out, just stays in place. You can take it out if you ever need to check in. And it's a really good thing to do, to check on your food and, you know, see how that's going, if it needs a bit more time or whatnot, because we all vary in how we potentially like our food and whatnot. So just hitting next and just turning the dial, and it's going to chop that up in 3 seconds. Okay. So it'll tell you every little step of the way what to do, which when you become used to this, you'll just ignore and you kind of already preempt it. But there's all my chopped up garlic and ginger, which smells amazing. But yeah, in the beginning, it's handy because you know if it wants you to do something, it's going to tell you. If it wants you to put the lid on, it'll tell you. If it wants you to preheat the oven, it'll tell you. So there's literally not, you know, you have to click next, so you have to have read it, and there's no way of missing a step. Mucking up a recipe. So if you're not a really confident cook, it's really good. So now I'm just chucking in some of our chicken, which is in the fridge. So I've just pre-cut 2 fillets up and just put them into like little, what are the word, strips. That's the word I'm looking for. It's been a long day in the sun. I think my brain's a bit fried. So I think I'm just going to chuck it all in. So there's about, this is just a good tip actually. I didn't measure this at all. I'm not going to cut up half a chicken breast and leave half a chicken breast in the fridge and not use it just because it asks for 400 grams. So it's asked for 400. I've put in 550. It will be fine. I promise you. If you want to like add extra ingredients and stuff to any of your recipes, it will work out. The only thing is just check that especially protein is cooked thoroughly and properly through it. So lid goes on. We're just giving that a stir through. So the blade's automatically been put on reverse so that it's not chopping that chicken up further and like mincing it. So you can mince meat in the Thermomix. Best done if your meat is like partially frozen. It does it a bit more effectively, but you can do it if it's thawed as well. You can do it with like a chicken breast or whatnot. So I'm just spooning that through and I'm going to pop it onto a Varoma tray. So this is the tray, okay, and this is the dish. Now with the dish especially, because it's got a smaller surface area, just make sure that you leave a little bit of a well or a hole or a gap so that that steam can circulate properly. Otherwise your cooking times will really vary from what the recipes say. And same with the tray, just try not to block too much of the holes. It's got these little vents along the side here, there and the other side. So just make sure that they're not blocked. Now, if you don't like, if you're just steaming food, like say a chicken breast and some veggies and stuff for the family, or fish fillets, whatever, and you don't like meat juices kind of leaking, like you won't really have the flavor of it too much. But if you don't like that idea, you can actually put a piece of baking paper down and cover that Varoma tray. Just wring it out, like wet it and wring it out a little bit, and then you won't have any of that dripping through. It'll cook perfectly. And so I'm just making some gaps here. And yeah, you won't have that drip. So you can actually buy those from the mix shop. I think I have some down here somewhere. I did have some down there, but I think I've actually packed them away. But yeah, you can get pre-cut ones, which is super handy from the mix shop. And they're pretty inexpensive considering the time that they save you. All right, so now I'm chucking on my simmering basket. So this, guys, you would have seen in the video, just goes straight into the bowl, okay? Sits in there. It asked me to weigh the rice into there and rinse it out, which I already did pre us jumping on. And then I'm going to put in 900 grams of water. So I often just use the kettle. I'll just fill it up a tiny bit more. You don't need any extra measuring cups or anything like that. Yeah, look, literally, if you need some water, the kettle's perfect. If you need a small amount, that's what the measuring cup's for. It's perfect for that. But you can pour straight in and it's going to weigh it for us. So I'm using brown rice instead of white basmati. So I've actually reduced the amount of rice that I've put in the basket here. I'm just going to show you how it cooks for interest's sake. Like I said, I've made some more earlier, so I didn't need to make the full quantity. I'm doing this so slow because I'm talking at the same time. All right, pretty much that's fine. All right. So that's weighed in, simmering basket's in, Varoma's going on top. So just to show you how this works. So this is how we lay out our cooking. You'll have maybe even a sauce cooking, like highly recommend the meatballs in tomato sauce. So you're making a beautiful like pasta sauce and cooking meatballs and veggies at the same time too, if you like. But you have your basket in with like some grains or some veggies, potato, like some starchy vegetables that take a little bit longer maybe. And then lid goes on. This guy comes out because you want that hole there for the steam to come through. And your Varoma goes on, okay? So we're cooking a little bit of this chicken first. Getting started on that. So I will do, like I said, I will do a little bit of a cookie do session. Normally, if if you were live right now, I would take you through that, but I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to just bring you back when it's almost finished cooking. All right, we're back. So that's finished and we're just going to remove this. Now, first thing is use this lid as a bit of a shield. So always open it away from you so the steam doesn't get you in the face. Just a good thing to mention to kids or, you know, whoever's, your kids are a bit young still, but whoever's using it. And then lifting that onto the lid, and it actually acts as its drip tray. Okay, so you're not going to be spilling liquid and stuff on your bench. Smells really good. So that comes off. Spatula actually inserts in your steaming basket, and that's how you remove it. So this thing's an awesome little colander as well, like great for rinsing, you know, legumes and rices and stuff like that, basically. I often wash like my produce as well in the Thermomix. Like I chuck strawberries and berries and stuff in there, and like I can show you how to do that another time. I won't explain it. But yeah, so rice is coming aside. That probably will need a little bit longer, but I can put that on later. So it just says to retain some of the liquid in the bowl and place the varoma back into position. So the lid goes back on. Now in this instance, you could add extra like veggies and stuff as well in this steaming basket underneath if you wanted to. And this is where we're going to add into the dish. Just today, some broccoli. So I just cut that into like florets. See that there? Broccoli there. About 200 grams. And then I've got some bamboo shoots. I don't use these every day, but can of those. Love anything that uses like a whole can and you don't get leftovers. Sometimes you get recipes that do odd things. So, got a carrot. Got everything here. Got a carrot that's been just sliced diagonally. Again, you can see how the varoma fills up quite like compactly. I'll show you in a minute, but it's just good to remember to keep some space, like some holes and some gaps there. And then just some celery, cut into some pieces as well. I'm going to cut them. A couple are just a bit too thick. All right. That'll do. So that was about 3 stalks of celery. Again, give or take, you could add different veggies if you like different things as well. Yeah, you can definitely add different veggies and stuff. So this is where we're at so far. So there's still a fair bit of room in there. Like you can actually not see it. It's not like it's filling up over the top. And then some spring onions. There's about 6 spring onions. So we're kind of lightly steaming all of this. Now you can actually buy a trivet to go into your varoma that helps just lift things up off the steaming grid, especially if you're doing like a whole chook. Lift it up just off the steaming grid so that it doesn't block those holes. Another good little trick that I don't do very often, but you can actually put this in here and fill up your veggies around it so that that hole is actually there in place of your measuring cup. So you just pull it out when you go to actually cook and you've got the gap there. But it's easy to just maneuver things with your hands and make a bit of a well there now too. And then capsicum, about half of a capsicum. So this is a lot of veg, yeah? Like hopefully you can, I think this recipe says it's feeds about 8, I think, 6 or 8. Makes a lot of food anyway. So great for leftovers for lunches and stuff. Again, just make that gap, make sure that gap's there. Okay. Now it also says if you need more space to be able to put your tray on, you can arrange them on top of the tray as well. Mine are actually pretty good. I'm going to fit them there like that. And I'm going to sprinkle on some sesame seeds. This is the recipe telling me this. And some cashews. So I just roasted these in the oven the other day. Got some unsalted cashews. All right, lid's going back on. All right, so another 10 minutes there. So in the meantime, I was gonna bring up my cookie dough for you. Hopefully I can do that. So bear with me. Hopefully I can move my bar, which is in the way. Okay, there we go. And hopefully it loads. All right, cool. So I'm just going to show you the cookie dough really quickly. So if you haven't logged in on a desktop, this is what it looks like. But the app on your phone is super, super easy to use as well. So you can personalize your cookie dough and let them know how you like to cook, what you kind of like to eat a little bit, so that they give you recipe recommendations. So handpicked for you is typically based on what you've already cooked with your cookie dough more so. I do a lot of cooking experiences and stuff and showing off custard and things. So it does come up with that quite a bit. But yeah, you've got latest recipes obviously here. So things that have recently been new cookbooks that have been added. Obviously we've just had Halloween. Most cooked, which is good because like it's good to see what other customers are using their Thermomix for and gives you some inspiration. And also like, yeah, it's just good to look there if you're meal planning to like try new things and stuff. Usually there's main dishes there too, but being a long weekend, I'd say people have, yeah, indulged a bit more. I've clicked that I'm a veggie lover, so it's showing me a couple of vegetable-based stuff there. So really good, like I said, to utilize this to meal plan and to save things. What you want to do, which I'm making this sandwich over on Friday, I think, or over the weekend. But if you want to make something, if you see something you like, or if you do a search and these recipes come up, you've got these 3 little dots here. So you can just hit cook today or add it to a certain day in the week. It's also handy to also add it to your shopping list at the same time so that you know that you're making it within the next week or so, and you're going to need to shop for those ingredients. So I'll go into the filters and like how to add recipes and stuff a little bit more when we do a cookie dough session together. But that is the gist of it. You can search through the actual cookbooks. If you click there, you'll see every cookbook they've ever released, which you get for free. And some of the bigger cookbooks are usually valued at like around the $60 mark, $60 to $70 mark. So you're getting cookie dough subscription for $49 for a whole year, which is less than $1 a week. So you're not having to buy new cookbooks all the time. You're constantly getting new recipes and new ideas, and yeah, keeping that creativity and versatility in your family. So yeah, you can browse through here. Yeah, that's pretty much it from that main screen. So highly recommend if you've got some ideas and recipes that you'd like to see if the Thermomix can do. If there's like typical things that you already make as a family and you want to see if you can convert them, then you can book in a Thermomix like a cooking experience with a consultant as well and do a conversion session where we talk about, you might have a family favorite recipe or that one that's been passed through, grandparents and whatnot. So we can show you how to actually make that a Thermomix recipe. And that's really exciting because currently, I'll just stop sharing the screen now if it lets me. So currently we are actually about to have an update to Cookie Dough, and it's coming about mid-November, so a couple of weeks away. And our new Cookie Dough 3.0 means that you can create your own recipes on Cookie Dough. So if you're a Team 6 owner, you can program recipes that you like. You can find them on the recipe community, which is like a Thermomix platform that you and I and anyone who owns one can just upload recipes to there. Baby's putting it on a little bit. And yeah, you can put them directly onto the screen of your Thermomix so that you can follow the guided cooking and the step-by-step process. So that's pretty exciting. It will be a slight increase with that, but anyone who's purchased the Thermomix now can stay at that introductory price of $49 instead of paying the new price, I think is $69. And you can kind of get a feel for if you're going to use that, if you want that feature or not. So yeah, it's really exciting for a lot of people who use a lot of other platforms. So there's like one's called Thermobliss, there's Skinny Mixers who people rave about and have, a lot of their cookbooks as well. On top of obviously Cookie Dough, there's a lot of stuff out there that you can use as resources. So highly recommend if you haven't found something on Cookie Dough in particular, then have a look on the recipe community or on Google and you'll find something. So yeah, I'm going to pause that. There's about 5 minutes left. So I'm going to pause that and come back. Alrighty. So again, it's just been sitting there for a moment while I've dealt with the baby, which is the beauty of this. You can leave it sit and it's not going to like burn or anything. You can go do, I've been doing lots of stuff in between. So we're setting this aside in a thermal serving bowl. So I'm actually going to remove this. So many of these thermal bowls, which if you don't have a thermoserver, if you've never heard of them, there's lots of different sizes, and there's a white one, there's silver ones, oval ones, so shapes and sizes, but they are fantastic because they keep your food hot for up to 3 hours. So I cooked the rice before we jumped on, and it's been in here and it's still hot, so it's ready to go for dinner. Well, Dale still hasn't eaten. It's nearly 9 o'clock. Story of our life. So I was putting the chicken, which you can see that's all really well cooked there. So it is just dependent on, sometimes recipes say, you know, 1 centimeter strips or whatever the centimeter is, but our 1 centimeter differs, like everybody's differs slightly. So unless you're getting things out and actually measuring them, just be mindful that if you cut them a little bit bigger than the recipe, they'll need a little bit longer. If you cut them a bit smaller, it's going to cook even quicker. So don't be afraid to adjust the the times and whatnot there. Probably not the temperatures you need to be adjusting too much, but at least something I have done at some point. All right, that's in there, staying nice and hot. And the veggies will go in a separate one because I just want to keep them a little bit separate for the kids and stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go with this one. As you can see them all nicely, hopefully you can see well on this screen. All cooked pretty well. Let's put this liquid in here that we steamed with into a jar. Ooh, I hope it fits in this one. So all of the juices from the chicken and the veggies just going in here. It's going to fit. Not quite. There's only a tiny bit. I'll discard that. Okay. All right, so I need to weigh in. So now I'm just popping the lid on. I'm going to actually just use this empty bowl here. And I'm going to put in about 250 grams of liquid. Oh, don't spill it because that's getting distracted by a baby. But yeah, you're pretty safe to spill liquid on the front of your Thermomix, by the way. Nothing bad is going to happen. I've done that so many times, not paying attention, but especially with like the aroma when you remove that. If you spill liquid on the front, the other thing that might happen is that it'll think that the water is actually your like fingerprint or whatever touching the screen, touch screen. So you may just need to wipe it off here. And I can show you in a video if you want to follow my social media, which is Thermo Life by Laura, or Thermo Life _ Laura Folk. If you want to follow, I often put in videos and stuff on how to do certain cleaning things and whatnot, but I can actually show you how to remove this dial and clean under there as well, because I drop so much stuff, it just ends up collecting, typically flowers and whatnot. So next, all right. And it won't hit next properly if there's any drips on it, because it'll think you're touching somewhere else. So just make sure that, yeah, you haven't got too much liquid on there. That's better. Okay, so that's that. Putting that aside over here. I didn't actually need the rest of that liquid. I didn't actually need to fill it as high as I thought I did. So it often will say too, with recipes, clean and dry mixing bowl. So this is not particularly clean. I don't know if you can see the edges there, but it's not super clean. I'm going to get rid of my colouring. That might make it a bit better, hopefully for you guys too. But yeah, it's not it's not super clean, but often it'll say clean and dry mixing bowl, and you don't actually have to. So you just get to know your thermi a little bit more, and you want to clean it and dry it if you're milling stuff, like if you're making your own almond meal or rice flour or whatnot. But you don't necessarily need to. Spoon. Yeah, you don't need to if you're just like making a sauce like we're about to. So this is just like 1.5 teaspoons. I'm just going to pretty much guess here about that much of corn flour. I'm just using arrowroot flour or tapioca flour. Works just as good. Now, hopefully I haven't skipped a step. Oh, I was meant to go in the jug. Of course, that was meant to happen. Oh, it's too late at night, obviously. So I'm just going to pour it into here. So instead of me stirring it, I'm just going to put it on like speed 2 or 3. So I can just hit the home dial, turn this, give that corn flour liquid kind of a good mix. As long as you don't go too, like I wouldn't probably go over speed 4, but you can actually leave your measuring cup off if you're doing a low speed, and just keep an eye on it. Like, if I'm doing pancake batter or something for the kids, and I just want to see when things are mixed properly through and the flour's mixed through. Sometimes I actually just leave the measuring cup off and have a little bit of a look. That, I'm just going to put that back in this, actually I'll put it in this jar. Just here. There's that. So that's for the base for our sauce. Now, if you can see the screen, which you probably can't, there's a green little tab here. So because we exited the recipe, it's saved exactly where we're at. And all we have to do is hit that and continue on. So setting the jug aside, here we go. So we've got our ginger, some more ginger again, and some garlic. So 2 cups of garlic. And we've got some red chili, which was the biggest chili I've ever seen. So I've only used half of it. And then we're just going to chop that up. 3 seconds on speed 7. So the perfect speed for chopping things up is, about speed 7. Often I'll do onions and stuff, and, even just chopping carrots and things on speed 7. Kind of my favorite one. Any higher, and you can often get like pureed quite quickly. Any lower, and you're just still getting quite big chunks. So I'll just show you. I'll show you that. I'll scrape it down. So you can go again. If there's too big chunks there, there's a couple of bigger chunks of garlic, but I really don't mind. I'm not too fast with it. And this will be more for Dale and I than the kids anyway. So it actually says repeat chopping if necessary until it's fine. And then adding about a tablespoon of peanut oil. I should use my spoon, just as a rough guess. Again, I normally don't do that. I free pour, but for whatever reason, I already had a dirty spoon. So, all right, peanut oil's in, and we're going to just saute that for about 2 minutes. Okay, so I'll come back when it's done. Okay, so with that, that's just all sauteed down. So it's kind of gone a bit more translucent. You can tell family members and kids especially as well, though, that these lights turn red on the side here instead of being green. I don't know if you can see them there. Hopefully you can. They turn red when it's hot to touch the stainless steel bowl. So it's good to just let them know, that not to touch it when it's been cooking. So about a teaspoon of sesame oil. And this is a sauce that we'll pour over the top. And the Team 6 has like a thickening mode, so it's super good for making gravies and sauces and stuff. Just set it and walk away, and it does all the stirring for you. Kind of like with our risottos and stuff, it's, one of those game changers when it comes to making those meals. Because you can be hands-free, you can be making the most of your time doing something else. Now, it actually says honey, which we're pretty much out of honey. So I'm going to use a little bit of this rice syrup. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't make too much of an impact. So a bit of that in. Again, use what you've got. Don't be afraid to mix up ingredients a little bit. Okay, can't resist licking this spoon. Now, rest of our corn flour reserve liquid. Cool. Just settle to the bottom a little bit. Lid goes on. So that's just going to thicken a little bit for the next 4 minutes or so. But yeah, if you are, for me, Thermomix has been a game changer for chopping up and like prepping vegetables and stuff as well, making salads in like 5 seconds, chucking a bunch of ingredients in and chopping it up and making a salad. If you haven't tried, there's a beetroot salad. I'm assuming you wouldn't have tried it yet, but there's a beetroot salad on Cookie Dough that you have to look up and try for sure. I definitely recommend that. And yeah, when it comes to like doing those basic first steps of recipes like sauteing or chopping garlic and onion and whatnot, it's been a game changer for me because I just found those things so fiddly and hard to do around busy time of serving meals and whatnot. So I've had my Thermomix for a long time. I've had it pre-kids, but I've always found it like annoying to try and do those things and just get the meal going. I just was eager to get the meal going. So for me, it's meant I've actually started incorporating those steps in again and getting the flavor from my food. When I was previously probably not sauteing things properly or just kind of rushing things. So yeah, definitely utilize some of those steps and those functions. And let me know how you go. And if you're willing to then dive into some more manual stuff, we can definitely have a look at a few more functions and stuff on those main screen and just get you kind of, figuring out how to work those, especially rice cooker and stuff. I think that's definitely an underutilized one I've found from my customers. They go back to doing the boiled rice method, which nothing wrong with that. If you like the boiled rice recipe, it is fantastic. But I find the rice cooker so much easier, so much less cleanup as well. So yeah, I'll pause again. Cool. So I was able to just do a bit of a tidy up in the kitchen while that was cooking. So I actually ended up just reducing. I wanted to put the steaming basket on top instead, just to allow a little bit more steam to come off and to reduce a little bit more with this sauce. I find the arrowroot flour sometimes doesn't thicken as much as corn flour might. So I have a steaming basket on there. But I've got the sauce here, which is going to be hard for you to see. Now I'm going to add a little bit of salt. If I missed from here, salt, pepper. Okay, so that just needs to let sit for about 5 minutes to thicken up a little bit more too. But that's pretty much done. I'm just going to add some lime juice to it afterwards, pour it onto the chicken and rice. And I'm just keeping the vegetables separate a little bit so I can give the kids a little bit of stuff as well. So just multi-purpose. But I did just want to say, another really good tip, if you're manually using the Varoma and you're just putting some liquid in, you want to use about 400 grams of water for every 20 minutes of steaming time. You've got your basic cookbook that you got with your Thermomix will be a great guide for you to know roughly how much time for different vegetables and things, but it is very much trial and error. And just sort of set things and see how you go. I would say most vegetables and how most people kind of cut things is like between 14 to 16 minutes, like broccoli, cauliflower, that sort of thing, carrots, whatnot. But definitely putting your longer cook time veggies at the bottom, like in the dish of the room or even in this steaming basket inside here. And my little hack is actually taking that speed up to at least speed 3 when you're steaming, because that faster speed is going to push the steam up and just cook those vegetables a little bit quicker as well. So there's a few little tips for you with steaming vegetables and just doing basic meals in the Thermomix. But I'm looking forward to hearing what you make from Cookie Dough and what recipes that you're loving. So please share them with me and send me photos and ask me as many questions as possible, because that's how you get the most out of your Thermomix. And, that's what you pay for. When you purchase a Thermomix, you get a consultant, you actually pay for the support of a consultant. So you may as well utilize me and hit me up with all of the questions and ideas and things that you've got. So that is all for me. And thank you so much for taking your time out tonight, guys, even though we couldn't get on live together. I really appreciate that you did take the time out and you jumped on. And yeah, we'll definitely try and get together again another time. All right. Bye, ladies.